You're listening to the Joe Kamo Show. Real sports, real talk.
All right, this is a super cool show. I've got Brandon, aka the Macho Man Randy Savage, on the show. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is a little surreal because I'm on a Zoom call here. And if you guys listening on audio, you should check out the YouTube channel. Just go to Joe Kamo Show on YouTube because you got to get the visual aspect of this as well. If you're in the car, that's cool. Audio is going to be good as well. So Brandon is a Macho Man entertainer. What do they call it? A cosplay? What do they call it?
Cosplay impersonator.
That's pretty cool, man. How long have you been doing this?
Started in 2015, so about 5 years now.
Yeah, so like I just had the entertainer. This is a mixture of guests on my show. So I started this podcast about 3 weeks ago just to give you an update. And I just want to get people on that I think are interesting or that I really want to talk to. And literally, like I was a big fan of the Macho Man and wrestling growing up. And I hate to say this, but you're the next best thing. I mean, like, is there anyone else doing this?
There's a couple more out there. Yeah. There's Macho Man was a huge icon for people and a lot of people, and everybody loves him. So there's plenty more out there.
So how did you get into this? This is kind of a cool thing. And like, this has opened up other doors for you to actually, you got onto a reality TV show. So this is serious stuff. A lot of people, some people might be laughing. Oh, it's the Macho Man impersonator. No, this is a real deal. Like you've completely taken on this role. It's something that's outside the box. It's not your 9 to 5. Cause I talked to Mr. T, Supreme T. He's got a cool life, right? So I want to know all about it. I want to know how you got the reality job. I want to know how the show, how you got on the show, how you live your life, how much you get approached. I'm really curious to learn about your lifestyle. This is fascinating. Can you dive in first of all, maybe with the show?
Oh, well, I had dressed up as a Macho Man and go to house shows, wrestling shows like that, and decided to go to WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans in 2018. And before the show started, I'm walking around the Superdome taking pictures with people and doing my thing. And I remember this guy came up and wanted to take a video. And it was a normal thing that happens. And like 2 weeks later, I get an email from Vice, and they're asking me if I wanted to participate in this new show they're doing about wrestling. And they needed a Macho Man impersonator. And I was like, of course, yeah. And they flew me and my wife up to Toronto to studios, and we filmed the show over a week.
Oh, I lost. There you go. Your audio is gone. You're back.
Sorry, you there?
So yeah. I got you. You flew to. By the way, I live in the Toronto area, so you flew to Toronto, and the show is called Dark Side of the Ring or something like that.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring on Viceland channel. It was a new show. Brand new. We'd never heard anything like that, and we didn't know if it was going to be something big. It was going to happen, because TV shows get recorded and never make it to TV all the time. And so we filmed it, hoping for the best. And like 8 months later, it come out. It was the biggest hit for the Viceland channel, setting records for their station, and it renewed for a second season, and now a third season coming up.
So are you going to be in the new seasons, or was this just a one-of type thing?
If they need another Macho Man, they said that they would have me back.
Now,
so I'm hoping.
Sorry, yeah. So now, when they asked you, did you say yes, or did you say, "Oh yeah," like that?
Oh yeah, dig
it. That's crazy. Now, were you a fan growing up of Macho Man? Like, how did this happen? How did you say, "Man, I got this"? Or did you like kind of impersonate him and people around you are like, "Hey, man, this is cool. Like, you actually look and sound like Macho." Like, how did this all come to be?
I started 2015. My 10-year-old daughter at the time, she wanted the whole family to dress up for Halloween, and I couldn't think of anything I wanted to do. So, but I thought, Macho Man, he had these iconic costumes and look.
Mm.
I thought we can do that. So we threw together a quick, I mean, really terrible costume. And I grew my beard out. I didn't usually wear a beard. Grew my beard out, and we tried the costume on, and my wife said, you kind of do look like Macho Man. And so we went out for Halloween, with my daughter to the block party in town, and everybody went nuts, screaming, "Oh yeah!" and asking me where my Slim Jims were. And
Yeah.
so after that, the next year we decided to do it again, but better. We made a better costume. Went out to a costume contest, or one costume contest, and the next year we did a better one, winning more contests. People go crazy when they see Macho Man walking around, and I just like doing it. Hearing people's stories, they connect with Macho Man, and they tell me, growing up, they love Macho Man, and tell me their stories about when they met him or something. And I just love doing it and making people happy, smile, bringing up memories they hadn't thought of in years.
Yeah, it's really touching for me because I grew up. I lost my dad to a heart attack actually in 2015. Ironically, it sounds like the year you started. I lost him on
Yeah.
Father's Day, and we grew up watching wrestling together. Now we were more Hulk Hogan fans, but we watched Macho as well, like Saturday Night Main Events. So it brings back a lot of memories to me. So it's very special to me, and I'm glad that you can bring the joy to people. So are you just do you obviously bring it, like I know Mr. Supreme T, he's like, yeah, I just like making people smile. Is that the same type of reaction you get? People smile a lot. It's like, do you enjoy do you get, first of all, do you get a lot of smiles? Second of all, do you really enjoy the fact that you're bringing joy to people?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. People, they love it. They see me walk around a corner, they all gasp, and we take pictures. We like to go to Dragon Con, the huge convention in Atlanta every year, and that's kind of where I started dressing up when it wasn't Halloween. And everywhere we go, I mean, just swamped with people wanting pictures and uh, wanting to talk about Macho Man. And people love it. They'll stop and stare, or see me across the room. They point, like, "Oh yeah, Macho Man,
Yeah.
happened to a Slim Jim." So it's pretty crazy. It's like I can be a celebrity and go out in public. People love me, but then I can take it all off, and I'm just a normal Brandon, and can mingle with public perfectly. So
That's crazy. Like, cause Macho Man was like a larger than life character. I loved watching him. He was so animated and so like it was really creative what they did with the 80s and 90s. I don't watch wrestling at all now. Again, not to knock wrestling. I don't know. I don't watch it, but I just find the characters very kind of generic. They're not larger than life. Before you had Andre, you had Stone Cold, you had The Rock, you had Hulk Hogan, you had all of these, Coco Beware, and he had the
yeah,
the parrot on him, and Ricky the Dragon, go on forever, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. These guys were large. Demolition with the makeup. I don't find wrestling to be that interesting anymore. Maybe because I was young, and maybe it's kind of like, what do you think happened to wrestling? I'm sure they still have a good fan base, but do you find that era was kind of the golden era, and it's hard to top right now, right?
yeah. Just like you, I don't watch wrestling these days. The new stuff. Just it seemed like the 80s and 90s, and some of the 2000s. It was just they had a magic, and people connected with it, and really cared about it, and cared about the stories and the people. Like you said, Macho Man, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
They're in pop culture back in the day. With Slim Jim commercials. He was on. Even I meet people that they never watch wrestling, but they know who Macho Man is from seeing him on Slim Jim commercials.
Right.
And these middle-aged, or actually older, grandmas and stuff. They'll, they know Macho Man because he's in their living room on TV commercials,
Yeah. So like, okay, so I see you going to a lot of these Comic Cons. First of all, can you actually be at a Comic Con as a character or no? They won't allow you because you're not actually real Macho Man, right? To be an
What
actual.
was that again?
So can you actually be one of the Comic Con guests, right? Because you go to Comic Cons, I see you
Oh,
sitting beside Jake the Snake. Can you actually be one of the people at the Comic Con or no, you can't because you're not really Macho Man, right?
well, no, I've been guest
Mm.
at cons before as a Macho Man impersonator, and with me being on Dark Side of the Ring, that's a draw too.
Yeah, yeah. Now, because you're actually like a star now, because you're actually your own person. So it's not even your Macho Man impersonator. You're actually a reality TV star. Your resume is building significantly, and I think you can ride this for the rest of your life because I don't see Macho Man going away for our lifetime anyway. So we're good. I mean, I think you're good with this character for a long time.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope to keep doing it as long as I can.
So I want to get I want to know what the reactions are. Okay. So let's be honest. I want to like play by play. So you go up, I see a picture. I think you had a picture of Jake the Snake and a couple other real athletes like that were in the I keep saying NFL because I'm used to fantasy football that are in the WWE, right? So you met Jake the Snake and all these guys. What are the type of reactions when they see you? Are they like, holy crap, holy shit, this is real? Like on it, what is is there a genuinely real reaction? Like or are they like, I know you're fake and blah? Like, what is the reaction? Can you give me some examples of some of the reactions of particular older WWE characters that what do they say? What have they said to you?
They almost all are very positive about it, and some will thank me for keeping the old guys uh, relative and in in the public.
Right.
They just met Sergeant Slaughter a few weeks ago,
Right.
and he was he's like, "Wow, you look just like him." And Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man,
Yeah.
he really enjoyed it, and he's like, "Man, just look just like Randy." He said, "Like it's perfect." And Mean Gene, I met him. He said that it was the best looking Macho Man he'd ever seen, and they, like I said, they actually thanked me for doing this, and it's all real positive. Like Coco Beware, he was giving me business advice
Yeah.
and telling me I have to get crazy. Randy was just intense all the time, and he'd just go 110%.
Yeah.
And Stan, he was so animated. He was doing his own Macho Man, which it was really good. And but no, it's all very positive.
Good, good. I saw you on TikTok. I think that's how I kind of came across you. You had that Savage song and you're kind of
Yeah.
So one thing that I've noticed is that you got to get like, is it hard to get his mannerisms and his the way his body moves? Because it's kind of stiff. Was that hard to kind of fill that role, right? To kind of learn how he moved. How long did it take you to kind of get it down? Do you have it
Oh,
down?
I'm always trying to improve. He was such a like I said, intense guy that it's hard because me myself, I'm very introverted. Uh, don't like the tension, and I'm good to be on the sidelines and watching the action, And so it does take some energy for me to be all that animated and crazy and loud and the center of attention, So, because like I said, I'm just a quiet guy, don't talk much.
Right.
So it takes some preparation. I have to uh, prepare my mind, like, okay, we're going out tonight. I got this, let's do it.
You're like an
And
athlete. You got to get into state. You're like an athlete. You got to get like an MMA fighter will have to do a warm up before a fight. He's in the back room. He's
yeah,
training. He's got to get warmed up. He's got to get his gear on. He gets in the ring. He does his prayer, whatever he does, his ritual before you get into state. And that's normal. You got to get into that kind of state.
yeah.
So do you find that you're like, when you come out of the costume, you're still in that state? Like you're with your wife and you're out of your uniform and she's like, hey, do you want some breakfast? Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah,
You find
yeah.
it
No,
there?
yeah. I mean, I'll do that sometimes. I'll rib her with it. Like I'm Macho Man. I'm kind of famous. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the kind of high. Get the adrenaline going when I'm out doing it, and come home. I take it off, and it's just relax, like just soak it in and chill out.
Yeah, I want to do some role playing at the end of this here. If you are you okay to go into character for like a 2-minute scene?
We can try it. Yeah, yeah.
We'll try it
We'll
at
do that.
at the end here. I want to save that. But okay, so your wife here, because I'm the fantasy football counselor. Obviously, I'm not as animated as you. I do fantasy football analysis, but I'm always wearing my same damn shirt that says fantasy football counselor. I got the counselor. I have a lion mentality shirt, but it's all the counselor brand, which is typically composed of a t-shirt and a backwards hat. Like I don't really. So my wife always gets frustrated. Why are you always wearing this? Like, why don't you just dress up? Why don't you dress like a normal person? Like, do you ever get any pushback or like, oh man, not the Macho Man again? Do you get that? I mean, my wife is supportive, so I'm not saying that she's not. Don't get me wrong, but it's more of in a joking way. She's like, oh shit, you got to wear that again. Like, how is this like a battle at home, or is this? How does she accept this?
She loves it. She's very supportive. My daughter, like I said, it started when she was 10. She's 15 now. She's a typical teenager, and
Yeah.
she's kind of over it.
Yeah.
She doesn't enjoy it as much when Dad is being crazy and
Yeah.
um, overconfident. So she uh, she doesn't enjoy it all the time.
Like Mr. T is pretty animated, but I think Macho was just over the top. I mean, I can't think of a big, maybe, it'd be even worse than Macho Man if you were the Ultimate Warrior. That would, that would be crazy. You'd be going up in the air, you'd be yelling, you'd be like,
Yeah, shaking ropes.
That's just freakish, man. I think you, Macho was a little more tame than the Warrior. Warrior was a little intense, you'd be doing
Yeah.
some damage in the house if you were the Warrior. Now, have you met Hulk Hogan? Like, have you actually met him?
No, I haven't yet. Really want to get down uh, to his beach shop
Yeah.
when he's there and get a picture with him. He's I know he's liked some pictures on Twitter and stuff like that I'm in,
Yeah.
and I know he watched Dark Side of the Ring. So,
Okay.
but no, I haven't got to meet Hogan yet.
That's pretty cool because, like, imagine connecting with him. It's like it would probably take him back. Take him
Yeah.
back to the moment where he was with Macho Man and kind of resurface some old memories for him. It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. It's a really cool job. Again, like with this Comic-Con thing, like how many events are you going a year? Is this like a yearly thing? Now, obviously, with the world situation, it's probably are Comic-Con still even on? And how often do you go?
No, I don't think there's any happened this year, but I'll go to. I say 3, 4, 5. Just depends on what's in the air happening in the area.
Yeah. Now, did you study Macho Man's life? Like, do you know his life really well? Because I heard he was pretty overprotective of Miss Elizabeth. Is that something that you've kind of adapted to and kind of aware of kind of his life circumstances?
Yeah. When I go to these conventions and meet these guys that they worked with him 10, 15 years, they always tell stories, and it seems like the consensus is he was really protective of Elizabeth, and because she was maybe only one of a handful of women on the road with all those guys, and so I mean I can kind of see where he's coming from. You know, he sees these guys doing
Yeah.
God knows what, you know, after shows, you know, and city to city. And so I see where Randy was coming from. But yeah, I talk to these people that knew him and learn something new every time. You know, they have their own story or their own experience with Randy. They'll share it. And so, yeah, I know, I mean, I'm no expert by no means, but I know quite a bit of, you know, his life.
Listen, I know you respect Hulk Hogan. I'm a big Hulk Hogan fan myself, but I've been doing this segment on this show. It's like, who would win the fight? And I'm not talking wrestling. So try to keep your bias out of it. If you look at them as individuals, non-wrestlers, who would actually win a physical fight in their prime? Hulk Hogan or Macho Randy Man Savage? Now, again, I've heard that Macho Man was a super tough guy, and a real fight, he'd probably take on Hogan. Hogan, obviously the bigger guy. But how do you think this would play out in a physical fight between these two guys in real life? Hogan, Macho, in their prime of their lives?
That's tough. Yeah, Hogan was big. Randy was pretty agile.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I'll go with Randy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Randy as well here. He was just a scrappy guy, and he had that attitude.
Yeah.
But again, Hogan was just a huge. I mean, if Hogan got a hold of him, it'd be tough. But again, Randy was quick and agile and elusive,
Yeah.
and probably quicker as well. And he was strong too. I mean, how big was he? He was around what? Like, okay, let's talk about. I want to talk about physical conditioning here in your diet and how you have to maintain a physical conditioning, because obviously if you want to look like, you got to look like Randy, you got to really look like Randy. So I want to talk about diet and what you're doing for working out. But what was Randy? I'm gonna guess here he was like 6 foot 240. Am I wrong? Something around that?
He was billed as 6'3", 238, I think.
Okay.
But all these wrestlers I meet, they always one of the first things they'll say is, "You're too tall to be Randy." I'm 6'3", so they said he was more like 6 foot, 6'1".
Okay.
I'm 6'3". But yeah, that's what Sergeant Slaughter said and Million Dollar Man both said within just 2 minutes of meeting them. They're like, "No, you're too tall."
That's okay. I mean, tall is good. I mean, people wouldn't know. They would know, but that's their bias. I mean, they
Right.
wouldn't know because they've seen him. But like 99.999% would assume that I mean, 2 inches not a big deal. I mean, it's better to be taller than. I mean, if you were like 5'7" and trying to be,
Right.
I think that's worse. I think to have that height is good, and I think it's better for your character. So, what do you walk around at weight wise right now?
Usually around 250.
Okay, so 250.
Yeah. Once I started doing this, I got back in the gym. You know, I was like, I can't be a chubby Macho Man.
No.
But so yeah, you know, the whole COVID thing really put a hurting on the gym time early this year.
Yeah.
But we got back in there trying to do the thing.
Yeah, I mean, is this a motivator for you? Because right now, for me, like I don't have any fights or competition. I just podcast, right? But sometimes I'll call out NFL players and athletes, and we've had it out with real big names in the NFL. I won't get into now. So that's kind of motivating me. I'm not sure. I don't think a fight's going to happen anytime soon, but you never know when a retired athlete might come up to me and say, "Hey, man, let's do a boxing match or something." So I'm always trying to keep in shape anyway for my own benefit as well. But is it in the back of your mind always kind of like, I got to meet this criteria. I got to be in shape. I got to live up to a certain level. Is that always kind of in the back of your mind? I would say that it probably should be, right?
Yeah, it's always, you know, I'll get up. I'm like, man, I don't feel like going to the gym today. It's like, I really should. I gotta keep this up. You know, I gotta go. It's very motivating for me
You have to be.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine, like, you can't just walk around and say, I'm one of the best, if not the best, you know, Macho Man impersonator. And then when people see, oh, well, that doesn't count. He's like, 50 pounds overweight. That doesn't work, right?
Right. Yeah, I know.
You gotta fit the mold, man. You gotta stay on top of the cardio. So what are you doing for diet? Like, did you look at his diet specifically? Did you talk to any trainers? And then for the show, did you have to do anything special? Did they want you to meet a certain criteria? What did you have to do to prepare for the show? And what do you do on a daily basis to maintain?
No, I didn't really study his diet. I haven't really. That's a good question.
There you go.
I mean, yeah. But no, just high protein, uh, low carb stuff, plenty of water.
Yeah.
But for the show, no, there wasn't. They were just happy to have a Macho Man, because they said that they were looking for one and they couldn't find the right guy, because they used local actors from Toronto
Yeah.
for most part, and they really wanted a good Macho Man for the show, and so they were just happy that they had one, and I had all my own clothes. I took 2 massive check bags of costumes and clothes to film with, and they were just happy that that was taken care of.
Where are you based out of?
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay, you're in Tennessee. Okay. Yeah. So you're down south. So like when you got this call, I mean, like for me, I'm a fantasy guy, and like it'd be cool if I got a big call doing what I love. But I mean, I love doing what I do either way. So I've had millions of downloads doing it, and I'm pretty big on Instagram. But when you get this call, like how do you react to it? Like, oh my God, like, or was it an email? And like, did you run to the wife and say, oh my God, I've made it. This is cool. Like, how was your reaction? How cool was that feeling?
Oh, it was awesome, man. It was the best feeling ever. I
Yeah.
was to see this email. I had this real, header on it with Boss TV, and it's surreal. I was just so amped, hoping that this would actually happen. It'd be on TV, and it actually did better than I ever imagined. People see me and they know that's Brandon from Dark Side of the Ring. They'll know me from the TV show. So it's like I kid my wife and daughter, that I'm a real star, and
You are. I mean, you are. I mean, the thing is, it's like, again, I can only imagine how good that feels. And it really like it makes me excited because I'm an entrepreneur and I like to see people genuinely succeed. And I'm happy for you because I got to imagine here when you started this, like, I mean, you must have thought this is kind of gimmicky. You probably like people probably made fun of it at times. I mean, no matter what you do, like I get a lot of haters. I don't know if you know this, but I get the worst haters. I've had people DM me saying, I hope you die. You're crazy. I hate your fantasy advice. The advice you gave me sucked. And even though I'm more accurate than I am, I'm more right than I am wrong. The haters are still there. I mean, even when I do posts, I'm like, I say nice things about players. People are like, oh, you're being soft. You suck. And like, it's crazy. So like you might like when you started this, like, was it like, oh my God? And then did you get made fun of at all? And do you still get the haters?
No, it's actually I was afraid of haters with the TV show, but it's actually 99.9% positive. People
Nice.
are real cool about it. I'll get the occasional hater, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, you're Macho Man. I mean, it takes you back. As soon as you see you, it's like, this is cool. He's taking me back. So that's really cool. I want to do like, again, I want to do like maybe a 1 minute, because I'm not good at acting. I mean, I probably could turn on. When I'm on the spot, I don't, but I'm not that good, but I just want to kind of role play here. Maybe we could do a scene where I'm not going to be a particular wrestler, but I'm just going to be like, interested in Miss Elizabeth. I saw her walk by. I'm kind of interested. I thought Miss Elizabeth is I'm going to ask you about Miss Elizabeth. I'm just interested in her. Not in I'll do it in a subtle way,
Okay, well, I'm pretty bad at acting too, so
Are you?
this will be interesting.
Well, just be Macho Man. Just talk to me like act like Macho Man would react. How about that?
It's hard sometimes, because it comes off the wall with crazy things. He'll say some,
Well, I'm
riding
sure
the lightning bolt.
this is your first, so this is like your first interview. You've never done this.
No, not a video interview. No.
Well, can you talk like Macho Man normally then? Just like,
Well, yeah, brother. I can, we can bring the voice down a little bit and get the cadence.
there you go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, so yeah, total role play here. We'll do it for a minute. I just want to feel like I'm talking to Macho Man. I'm like a kid. This is like the 9-year-old self me. How about that?
All right. Oh, let's
So
do it.
we don't have to talk about Miss Elizabeth then, because I think that's too personal. So maybe we just talk in general, right? So,
Uh-huh.
so Mr. Macho Man, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
Good. I was just watching Saturday night's main event, and I saw you fighting Hulk Hogan there. How do you feel for the next? I heard there's a championship between you and Ultimate Warrior coming. How do you feel for this fight?
Uh-huh. Well, Ultimate Warrior, he's something, brother. I can't do it. It's terrible.
But you look like you could do it. You could do it on Instagram pretty good.
Yeah. When I have a script, or something like that, I'm way better at doing that. I can practice a little bit.
Well, I definitely put you on the spot there for sure. Definitely put you on the spot. So what's next for you? Like, what's the 5-year plan? Like moving forward? Like, are you gonna do for life?
Yeah, we'll keep doing it as long as I can. Just keep doing the social media thing, and I have been slacking with content lately. Me and my wife, we just bought a house and we're renovating it, and so it's really took a toll on creating content for TikTok and Instagram and all that. But I'll try to squeeze some in here and there, and I make bandanas and stuff like that for to sell on social media. So I guess still I got to squeeze that in too, but
you got to
5-year plan.
Got to keep it going, man.
I know. Really struggling with it, finding time to do it here lately.
Well, we'll talk. We'll talk because I do it daily, and sometimes it's a grind. But just take the 5-10 minutes, do it. It'll be worth it. You'll get more eyeballs. Keep hashtagging, Macho Man. To just get more eyeballs. I mean, there's so many, wrestling fans that you haven't discovered, you haven't tapped in. And again, my suggestion. Again, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always thinking about marketing. But my suggestion, maybe start doing more videos where you are talking. Maybe do videos where you're talking to fans or whatever, and be a little more interactive with fans. Maybe do some live stuff like that. I think it'd be so cool for even like old guys like me that grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, that we can talk to Macho Man again. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I really do. I actually thought about, since I'm here set up, doing live after this, but I just really struggle with content. So yeah, let's talk.
Yeah. I'll give you some ideas and stuff. Again, me being a fan, it's not like I haven't watched wrestling, so I know the character, I know the rivalries, I know about the mega powers, I know about all this stuff back in the day. So I know Macho Man's character very well. I mean, like I said, I grew up watching him. I know his mannerisms. Kind of like when you're a kid and you watch that same movie over and over, and you know all the the words in that movie. It's kind of like the same thing with wrestling. I knew the characters very well. In the 80s and 90s very well. Like I couldn't tell you 5 wrestlers. I couldn't tell you 3 wrestlers right now, but I could tell you the entire WWE roster from the 80s and 90s. It's pretty wild. It's pretty crazy. So this is something that you might pursue for the rest of your life, is what you're thinking, though.
Yeah. I'll still dress up and go out to cons and take pictures with people and hand out Slim Jims.
Could this have happened without the death of Macho Man? If Macho was still alive today, is this something you think you would have taken on and still be doing?
Yeah, I believe so. Like Supreme T, he does his thing, and Mr. T's still around. He's talked to his daughter, and I think it could.
It would be cool. Yeah, I think he'd be really like, wow, this guy's doing me, and that'd be hard to do because, again, he had that big personality. His death was a big shock to me. From what I remember, again, I haven't looked him up lately, but he was in a Jeep and he had a heart attack, right? Like, is that what happened? It was cardiac arrest and he slammed into a tree?
Yeah, he had told his wife Lynn that he wasn't feeling good, and
Yeah.
they were there in Sarasota, Florida, and he got cardiac arrest, and then they hit a tree. There's a memorial there. That fans have made. It's not like an official memorial, but yeah, they take pictures of Macho Man and stick it there.
Would it be kind of weird if you went over there and took a picture at that site? Would that be weird?
I need to do that. I definitely need to do that. Or stand out there and wave traffic going by or something like that.
Because if people know, locals will probably definitely know that, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you stood out there, I'm sure you'd sign autographs, build your brand out there. And I mean, not in a negative, I mean, I'm not trying to say capitalize on somebody's death, but I
Right.
mean, I think more of a, a tribute.
Yeah.
If you got down on your knee there and said, man, respect to this guy, and did it in a humble way, I think more people would gravitate to. And that's how I meant it. I didn't mean it like go out there and gloat and say, I'm the new Macho Man. Look at me. Look at me. No, more like just in a genuine, respective way. I think that'd be a nice thing to do.
Yeah. I've met Randy's brother, Lanny.
Oh yeah.
The first time I met him, I wasn't dressed up because I didn't want to just walk up on him,
Yeah.
And so I walked up his knee, explained what I did or do, and showed him a picture or two, and then asked him if it was all right if I went and changed and come back. And he was like, "Of course, yeah." So I go change and come back, and he looked up. And he said, "Wow, you really do look like Randy." And he was super nice. He was so cool about it. I've met him several times, and we just sit and chit chat, and he'll tell me stories about Randy. So he was real cool with it.
Is this the guy that played the genius?
Yeah, the genius.
Yeah, he was a genius. He was a wrestler. For those who don't know,
he was,
WWE wrestler. He's called the Genius. He wasn't as big of a character as obviously Macho Man, but he was a wrestler as well.
Yeah, no, he was all right. He did win the championship one time. So, but no, he was nowhere near Randy's fame. But he said that he's happy to hold the ropes, for Randy, just to be his brother.
That's cool. That's cool. Any other wrestlers? So you met Jake the Snake. I saw you with Honky Tonk. I saw you. So who have you met? Like have you met Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, any of those guys?
No, not those two. I've met. Oh man, I think my favorite is probably Mean Gene.
Yeah.
But Jake the Snake.
Honky Tonk.
Got me. Yeah, Honky Tonk.
You said
Coco Beware.
Sergeant Slaughter. You said
Sergeant Slaughter, $1 Million Man. People can go see on my Instagram. I always post pictures with them.
So how do they find you on Instagram?
MM Brandon, as in Macho Man. MM Brandon Savage on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and on Facebook it's MMB Savage.
Okay, but mainly Instagram, Twitter, Brandon Savage. Okay, yeah, man, everyone should follow you. Man, this was a really cool conversation. I mean, you answered everything I really wanted. The role play thing didn't go well, but I kind of threw that out there. But I'm sure you could do it. It's just maybe just putting you on the spot, and that was probably the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I just kind of like doing the improv stuff. I took drama in high school when I was a kid, and I kind of like the improv class. You just kind of go. I wasn't the best actor, but sometimes I like doing it. So,
yeah.
Do you have any like Macho Man figurines, like any memorabilia? Like what do you have?
I have a few figures. I'm not much of a figure type guy, but I do have. I actually looked up the guy that made Macho Man's clothes, and he's still around. I contacted him, and he got back with me, gave me his phone number, and we talked. And I actually went to his home in Tampa to meet with him, and he pulled out all this amazing stuff that he had still left over from making clothes for Randy. And he made clothes for Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Lex Luger, but way before that, he made clothes for Jimi Hendrix, Sonny and Cher. I mean, Bon Jovi. So he pulled out this fabric that Randy and Brutus the Barber Beefcake had both worn in their costumes, and he cut me off like 2 yards of it and gave it to me and told me that when I get good enough making costumes that I can use it. And so I got some original fabric that was made in Randy's clothes. He gave me several little scraps of fabric from that he had made Randy's clothes out of. He gave me a paintbrush that he used to paint some of Randy's hats and glasses and stuff like that. So I've got the Slim Jim lunchbox, stuff like that.
Right.
I just keep on display at the house.
That's cool. So like when you first started, you didn't have his voice down. Like, is that because you're probably not a voice impersonator. You're not really an actor. So how did you get his voice down? That must have been a challenge, right?
The wife really making me practice and talk out loud, like that. And just lots and lots of practice, brother. Yeah.
Yeah. His mannerisms and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'll be practicing in the car when I'm driving by myself, just always trying to get better.
Yeah. He would go on these little rants, before the main event with me and Gina. It was so funny, wasn't it? He just go on.
Yeah.
Tears.
Yeah, and see, that's the opposite of my personal personality, So it's tough sometimes, but I love doing it. Love making people laugh and smile.
I'm surprised. Has the WWE not reached out to you yet? Do you think that call would ever come?
See, I don't think so. I don't know if they would want to do that. I mean, out of respect, I'm not sure,
Right.
But if they did, of course I'd answer,
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll do something where they have to go back and do similar thing where they do like a tribute. They might need some scenes. I'm thinking that would be a good play. That would be a good, cool call if you got a call from Vince McMahon or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That'd be crazy.
That'd be pretty crazy. So, and again, you had the big call with the reality show. Is there anyone else that kind of reached out to you? Like, do you get any type of hit ups from any of the wrestlers, current wrestlers, anyone else in the industry, any other cool DMs that you've probably got from this?
I did get in touch with I don't know if you remember, it was late 90s and 2000s, Blue Meanie from WWE.
No, I don't remember him.
He had helped get contacts for some of season 2 of Dark Side of the Ring.
Okay.
And so we'll DM each other every once in a while. I'll ask him to retweet something of mine, and he'll have me retweet stuff of his wife. And but yeah, I'll get invites to wrestling shows, cons. I actually had several appearances at wrestling shows around the South canceled this summer, because of COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get tons of DMs from just Macho Man fans. Anytime there's a new Macho Man meme on Facebook, I'm tagged, like 100 times.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining at all. And I always try to get back with anybody that DMs. I'm not too good to talk to anyone. And sometimes, we'll just chat about Macho Man on DMs,
Yeah. Like, did the reality show open up more doors though? That was a big.
Oh,
yeah.
That's it's just it.
that really propelled everything. So yeah, I mean, I would
Yeah.
ride that momentum and keep going. So how do I watch that show if I want to watch it? It's not on like Netflix or anything like that. It's called Who makes it? Vineland, you said? What was the company?
Viceland.
Viceland.
Yeah.
How do I watch that? And if I'm in Canada or the States, like, is there a way to get that easy?
Yeah, it's on Viceland's website, I believe you can watch it, but it's super easy. You can find it on Hulu or Amazon Prime.
Okay. Okay. I'll probably watch it there. And like, what
Yeah.
episode are you? How do I watch this particular episode? How do I find it?
Season 1, episode 1.
Oh,
You
right
push the
there.
button. Yeah, you
Perfect.
push the button, I'll be on TV.
That's perfect because that's going to
Yeah.
get you the most exposure. A lot of people watch a show and they don't get past, not this one particularly, but any show, like, oh, maybe I don't want
Right.
to watch a show, but you're right there, right at the beginning. That's cool.
Yeah. It's season 1, episode 1.
That's really cool, man. I'm really happy for you, genuinely, and you've taken, and it's a passion for you, obviously, right? You're obviously extremely
Yeah.
passionate about doing this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When I'm in costume and in public, try to never do anything that I think Randy wouldn't do. You know.
Yeah, that's really cool. So like again, I've talked to people that are in the zone with what they do. And when you're in the zone, even athletes, like the world kind of disappears. And it seems like that's what's happening to you. When I'm doing this podcast right now, it's like the world disappears. I'm so fascinated with not only you, but just learning about the entrepreneurship and the journey and all of this. And that's why I had to, I don't know if you knew this, but I had the fantasy football counselor brand for 4 years, built millions of downloads, did well there, but it was very niche. It's like, okay, I want to tune into Joe, but I only want to know who the top. Do you play fantasy football at all or no?
No, I'm not much of a sports guy.
Okay, so like basically
Yeah.
they just want to get information. Who's my lineup? Who's this? But this is opening up really cool things. I've had UFC fighters. I've had an actor from Fuller House on. I've had a lot of cool, and it just keeps growing. I had a CJ2K Johnson. He's a running back for the Tennessee Titans. He was a retired running back. So I'm getting a lot of cool guests. I'm looking to get a boxer on, an Olympic boxer on this week. It's really starting to get a life of its own. But again, like when I'm in my zone, I'm in my zone. And again, the world disappears. Is that with you too? You feel like when you're in character, you're out there, you're getting all this attention. Do you find that kind of like you're in that zone and the world disappears for you? You're like, you're there, right?
Yeah, it's a whole. It's like being a whole nother person. A lot of times I'm wearing glasses with vinyl stickers on them,
Yeah.
and so a lot of times indoors at night wearing sunglasses with vinyl stickers. I can't see much. My wife has to help lead me around, and so yeah, I get stuck in this zone there in my own world, and I'll take it off, and I'm like, whoa, man, this is what this place looks like.
So like, okay, so you're on the street. Let's say you're at the grocery store and you're in care. You've dressed as him. You decided I'm going to go Macho Man today. You're at the grocery store. You're on the street. You're walking with the wife, or even by yourself, and someone approaches you. Do you turn around and go, "Oh yeah, like what's up?" Or like, do you do that, or do you just turn around and just like, "Hey, I'm Brandon. What's up?" I just dressed like. Do you
No,
in
yeah,
character? You got to be in character, right?
yeah. I do the character. Oh yeah, my voice will be hoarse from screaming, "Oh yeah," or snap it to a Slim Jim.
I just
So
did it
yeah,
once.
I'll like,
I did it once and I almost threw my voice out. Like that's got to take a toll after because it's really, I don't know what it does. It takes a toll on your throat if you try that.
yeah. First Dragon Con, I came home and couldn't talk for a day or two.
Gotta go with the macho madness. I'm trying it. It's like you gotta keep it like raspy. I can't do it, but it's like I've never done it before. So, but I did it as a kid, obviously. But you gotta have like that little bit of raspiness to it and that crispness. It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, man, I had a lot of fun, man. Honestly, Brandon, this was great. I think I asked everything I wanted to ask. If I missed anything, leave it in the comments, guys, here on YouTube. But I think I asked everything I wanted. Like you answered a lot of things I wanted to ask. So, is there anything else I need to know about this job or?
Well, you call it, say, job.
Career, passion.
Yeah, well, yeah, passion, I guess, is more like it. I've spent way more money doing it than I've, made.
Yeah.
But I just love doing it. It's totally worth it. And if I could make a living from doing it, I'm not sure if I would or not.
So do you have a day job then?
Oh yeah. I'm a 20 years I've been a tool and die machinist. You probably don't know what that is.
Oh, I do, man. I listened to this. Let's go into that.
Okay.
I actually graduated as a hydraulic technician, so I know fluid power. I sold industrial hydraulics. Now we're getting boring to people. Why are we talking about that? But I can talk about that now. I was never a machinist, but you obviously know fluid power, right?
Yeah, we work with hydraulics a lot.
Valves and actuators.
Yeah,
I did that. You know, I was rep at Parker for years and other companies and stuff like that. So that's actually my background. I just hated doing sales of it. So then I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna branch out. So then I started a social media marketing company while building the counselor brand. Now the counselor brand is become a full-time job. And now I'm building this baby, which is a Joe Kamo show. And it just keeps like the empire keeps growing. So yeah, that's crazy. I know exactly what you do, really. You know, it's pretty wild.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about it. I don't mind at all.
So what do you do? Are you machining parts? Are you on a CNC? Or are you just
a little of everything? Run CNCs and manual stuff, but we make the things that stamp sheet metal into shape and punch holes in it and stuff like that. I work on the dies that do that.
Okay, are you getting so it's like an 8-hour, 12 hours? What do you usually work?
I work 3 12-hour days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Now, do you get a lot of it? Like people know, obviously, your side hustle there, your boss and all that?
Yeah. They actually had a write up in the company newsletter. Cool. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I think you can really break free with this. This should be a full-time job for you, I think. I think you just do the right things, implement the right strategies over time. This should and could be a full-time job for you.
Yeah, let's talk. We'll talk after
I'll give you some ideas.
I'll be messaging.
Yeah, DM me, man. I like talking about entrepreneurship anyway, and finding ways to monetize people and work together. Again, just friendly talk and just pass ideas to each other, right? We're on the same journey. So, man, Brandon, thanks for being on, man. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it, and hopefully everybody else that listened did as well.
Thank you for having me. Oh, yeah.
There you go, guys. Find him, Brandon Savage on social media, man. Thanks, guys. We're out. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Dig it.